Jags Nation. This is the Action Sports Jax postgame show, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
And in front of the faithful, the Jaguars get it done today, and how against the hated rival Tennessee Titans. That's 3 in a row against the Titans, ladies and gentlemen, and we always like that, as we swept them 1 year ago and then beat them here today 34-14 behind a very good performance by the quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Hi everybody, Dan Hicken inside the bank where the Jaguars are victorious. They are winners. They have gotten the job done. They handled the Titans today without any real problem. Defense came to play. Offense got cooking in the second half after 13 first half points were plenty. So the Jaguars get the victory today. Trevor Lawrence, best day of the year, right? He needed that. Needed to have a game like this. He completed 24-32, 75% of his passes. He threw for 2 touchdowns. He ran for 2 touchdowns. He threw for 262 yards. And by the way, we can get the ball to Calvin Ridley, right? 2 touchdowns for Ridley, over 100 yards receiving. That's what they need from Calvin Ridley going forward. So, Stuart, if you could get the game out of my ear, the Steeler game, I'd appreciate that as we tell you what exactly is going on. Thank you very much. And the Jaguars get the job done. Great crowd today, a lot of excitement. 7-3 now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, Stuart, did Houston win? I think Houston has won the game, right? Houston did win, so Stuart Weber back in. Give it up, clap it up for Stuart Weber today. Oh, we got Doug Pederson early. Let's go to the podium. Beautiful. Dougie P, take it away.
It was part of our game plan. I thought Trevor played extremely well. Obviously, bounced back from last week and put together a good performance. Ran the ball, 2 rushing touchdowns. I think 2 rushing touchdowns, right, today. Did a great job. Saw the field extremely well. I thought offensive line, protected him well, and it was good to get Zay back as well. But overall, Trevor played really well today.
Doug, you're up 7-0 3 minutes ago, first quarter. Tennessee goes on a 13-play drive. They take 9 minutes off the clock. Final play, you get the sack. What did that mean to not allow any points during that juncture?
Well, I mean that's really big. It's huge. It's a lift for our team. It was great to see our defense do that, and get off the field. Obviously, it was a lot of plays, and they just hung in there, And those things really, they kind of lift and energize your football team, in moments like that. And I thought, again, defense today, played outstanding.
We talked a lot about Ridley. Those 2 passes to him were almost perfect, but how good was it to get him involved beyond maybe PIs and maybe creating for other people?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to get Calvin back in there, and get him going again. I'll have to look at the film, but I think also the addition of Zay possibly could help that out a little bit, and those are the things that we talked about. And but yeah, it was good. Calvin played extremely well today. He kind of let the game just kind of unfold before his eyes, and really, just ran the routes that Press called, and Trevor did the rest. But it was really good to get Calvin, the type of game today that he's capable of playing.
Doug, what does it say about your team to kind of respond the way they did after what was such a humiliating game last week to dominate the way you guys did today? What did you maybe learn about your team?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me about last week. It just goes to show the resiliency of our football team. We've only been together a short while, but this is a resilient group. They always seem to work themselves back and fight their way back. When they have a setback, and they've done it. They did it again today, and hats off to the leadership of the football team, and really, each man doing his job, and that's the type of football that we're capable of playing.
I know you said that you last week that you were looking forward to coaching this team after that loss last week. How do you feel that you and your staff responded?
Well, I mean, sometimes it's easier after a loss than it is a win, and really, we all had to kind of soul search a little bit. We all had to kind of look in the mirror if there were things that we could do differently, or I could help the team differently, and how I messaged the football team, and really just wanted to keep things simple. I didn't want to clutter their mind. Yeah, you get blown out in a game a week ago, but when you really boil it down, it came down to the 4 giveaways, and in the critical situations that we did last week. We didn't do that today, and when you do that, you have better success. And then just, finding moments to just, I think, just relate to the team, kind of bring them full circle, put it back on the leadership of the team and let them kind of drive the team a little bit.
Doug, can you talk about the decision to go for it on 4th down at their 40 on the opening drive of the 3rd, and then Trevor's touchdown run 2 plays later? I mean, it seemed like you two were just willing the offense to get into gear, that you'd had enough of the stuttering and the stopping and the starting and the field goals, and you weren't going to have any more of it. Is that an accurate way to describe it?
A little bit, and I felt like at that moment, too, we were gaining a little momentum. Are you referring to right after they scored?
No, I'm talking first drive of the 3rd half, of the 3rd quarter.
Oh, of the 3rd.
Yeah, you went for it on 4th and 4th, their 40.
Yeah, to keep that drive alive. Yeah, that was just something I felt at that time, just to kind of keep, because we were moving the ball, felt good about it. Again, it's when I show confidence in the team and they respond like that, it just breeds confidence in them, and we were able to kind of do that a little bit today on some of the 4th downs and sustain some of those drives. But that was a big one to really kind of keep the foot on the gas a little bit, offensively, and just help our team with confidence.
Doug, did you get a sense in all your conversation with Trevor that when he was hurt with the knee and he wasn't 100%, that it kind of bothered him that he couldn't be out there playing at 100% and doing a lot of the things that he did before? Like the rollouts and stuff like that?
Just take the name off the injury. It's anybody that's injured. It bothers people. It bothers you. I mean, that's the thing I appreciate about this sport. I mean, and about our team. I mean, guys are going to play a little sore. Guys are going to play a little beat up, but they do it because they love their teammates, right? They love the game, and they're going to do everything they can to perform. So it doesn't matter if it's the quarterback or an outside backer. It's just the willingness, the mental toughness, the physicality that the players have, and they do it for the teammates.
Doug, could you just talk a little bit about the performance of your offensive line? Because there was about 3 or 4 passes today where Trevor kind of needed extra second and a half to get to other reads so that he could complete some passes. So it just looked like the offensive line from a pass pro standpoint had a good day.
They did. They really did. I think a lot of it, too, stemmed from the fact that we stuck with the run game. So it helped a little bit in the pass protection world. But, again, it's a prideful group. And Walker getting back in there and kind of settling down in his, and having more reps. He, it appeared like he played better today. But as a group, against a really good defensive front, they played so many 5-man fronts today. You're creating all those one-on-one matchups, and our guys did a nice job of hanging in there and battling. And Trevor doesn't make some of those down the field throws if they don't give him that extra time. They played well.
Will the game plan moving forward be?
It's a question of resiliency, and the Jaguars certainly have that, and they have had that since Doug Pederson has been there. You're looking at the W, the big bounce-back win today after last weekend's disappointing loss to San Francisco. This has happened a couple times with Pederson now. If you think about it, the loss to Houston that dropped them to 1-2. They then rattled off 5 wins in a row. Last year, the loss to Detroit, then they went and rattled off a bunch of wins in a row. So good stuff from the Jaguars in terms of Doug Pederson getting them to bounce back after the losses. Again, I got to tell you, man, it is the golden road to success for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are facing rookie quarterbacks. They are facing backup quarterbacks. They've got really one big-time quarterback left, and that's Lamar Jackson. Of course, the injury to Joe Burrow, the injury to Deshaun Watson just changes everything, and the Jags really should make a run in the AFC. It's almost expected of them the way that the schedule sets up and the way that they are capable of playing. So that's the good news. And there's no bad news today because they won, although they will go to Houston next week to take on the Houston Texans, who are right there, 1 game behind. Win, and the Texans would be in first place in the division by virtue of their 2 victories over the Jags. Jags need to snap that Houston streak. I think they're 1-10 in their last 11 against the Texans, but did beat them there last year and beat them pretty good, but that was before C.J. Stroud. Brent catching up with Foye Oluokun, had another sack today, did Foye, and led a defense that really limited Tennessee. Tennessee scoring on a on a trick play and then throwing one up late for grabs that got them in touchdown position into the red zone. They were able to score on a touchdown pass to Jeffrey Simmons. Here's Brent with Foye.
Hey, heck of a bounce-back performance for you guys. Offense, defense, special teams. Ross even did it, got in there.
Yeah, that was good. Just didn't like the product we put on film last week, so we challenged ourselves all the way across the board to put a better product on tape. Let's keep going. As a divisional win, we got another one next week.
You guys did some really good things early on, stopping the run, obviously, first and foremost, right against Derek.
I mean, that's the name of the game when you play the Titans so far. He's going to get his touches. You got to be able to handle it early and often, because if he gets out, they're going to keep feeding him. So let's stop the run, defend the pass, and we did a good job today.
And you almost had the trifecta in the first half. You got another sack, you got the fumble recovery, and almost had the pick.
I wanted that pick, but, I'm just happy we won today. Everybody doing their jobs. Turnovers going to come for the defense, more sacks for the defense. We just keep balling. We got another big one coming up next week.
I was going to say, what about the showdown with Houston? Obviously, these 2 weeks are huge with the AFC South, but this one's a big one coming up.
Yeah, we got a big divisional game. They know that. We know that. Let's put a good week of practice in. Keep that energy that we brought today. All starts with practice Wednesday. Let's get ready for it.
One last one for you. Got one here in Jacksonville. I know that's been a focus of you guys winning in this stadium.
I want to win every game. But I appreciate the fans. They came out and supported today. I'm happy we won for them. Let's win every game.
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
The Jaguars get the win. Foye Oluokun now has 3 sacks, by the way, in the last 2 weeks. That equals a career high in a season for the tremendous linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll send it back to you.
The final score tells us it was a dominating performance, and a deeper look inside the numbers proves it was a dominating performance. Take a look at some of these numbers. Held the Titans to 12 first downs. Jags got 24. Won the time of possession battle by 6 minutes. They had it for 36 minutes to the Titans 24. So you see the total yards, Titans with just 235 or so total yards. Jags almost 400 yards of offense. Again, boy, Again, I think they made a purposeful effort to push the ball down the field, something that had not been there at all for Trevor Lawrence. Not sure what they'll admit, not sure what exactly how they'll phrase it, but clearly it was they took a shot to Evan Ingram, they took a shot to Zay Jones, obviously Calvin Ridley with a big day, 6 catches for 103 yards. So when you start looking at what they were able to do today, and they stuck with the ground game as well, which was also big. Let's take a look at Trevor's top weapons. Obviously, it's Calvin Ridley on this day. He was terrific. This is why you bring him in. Now, on a consistent basis, we need more of that. 7 for 103 and a couple of touchdowns from Ridley, who had his best game as a Jaguar by far. So that was great to see from him. Etienne ran the ball fairly well today. And again, they stuck with the run. They got Bigsby in there late and got him some experience, which was great because, oh my goodness, he had a terrible special teams penalty that allowed the Titans to keep a football on a certain drive, which was no bueno, but he did go in and pick up a third and 1. Trevor Lawrence, congratulations, the 4th Jaguar quarterback in franchise history with more than 10,000 yards passing. He joins Mark Brunell, he joins David Garrard, and he joins Blake Bortles, all over 10,000 yards. Trevor joins that. He's in some pretty good company, and we are going to listen in right now with Brent and number 41, half a sack today, I believe. His name is Josh Allen, 9.5 sacks on the year.
We needed this win. And we needed a win like this, but that's what, like I said last week, man, when everybody do their job, man, and just want to go out there and perform, we can beat any team in the National Football League. And that's the confidence that we have within ourselves, first and foremost. So, next week is an even bigger game than this week. So that's a great team, and I know in the past that, Texans and Jaguars don't really mix, but we're glad to go down there and handle business, man. That's a great team over there, and we're excited to play them.
Is it nice to check some boxes, get the win here in Jacksonville, get back on track defensively, offensively? They did their thing as well.
Of course. First and foremost, it's always good to win. And to win by that, to see everybody go out there and have fun. When you look at the defense side, they hold them to 0 points for the first 3 quarters, and then they come back and do what they got to do, and then offensively go down there and drive the field and get points from it. You know, that was huge. To really have a big game. I was waiting for that moment to happen. I knew he's capable of doing that every week. So to see him go out there and to see him match up better than the other guy, it was great energy. And then special teams, Ross has been making plays like that all year. So, you know, not really surprised, but you know, I love Ross, man, and you know, I want him to keep getting better.
How loud was it out there for you guys on defense? How loud? Seemed like it was pretty loud.
You see, like I said earlier in the week too, it's you know, the crowd affects the way we feel. You know, when we go out there first down and everybody's standing up screaming, that affects us. You know, it gives us life, it gives us energy. And then you see they had a couple false starts in there. That's what I said too. So it's like, it's not only us that's out there playing, it's you guys, and you know, we appreciate everybody in the bank supporting us, and we want to continue to go to see. So we'll see you on Monday night.
Josh, is kind of saying out there that the great teams get better in the second half of the year. What do you think you guys need to do to get better to make Houston happen?
Man, we got to continue to go. We got to continue to stick to our motto first and foremost. We got to keep preparing the way we've been preparing. We got to fly around in practice, and we got to take it one day at a time. If we can continue to do that, continue to be there for each other, you know, we got to then go out there and play. So we can continue to do that, and it will be good.
Does this feel like a playoff game coming up against Houston?
Of course, this felt like a playoff game. You know, the implications was a playoff game, and next week is going to be the same. So if we prepare the right way, man, we know what type of game it's going to be. We know what type of skill they have over there defensively, offensively. So, you know, we're excited about it, and we want to get going.
All right, so there you hear from Josh Allen. You're looking at the AFC South standings. It all comes down to next week. Well, there's a lot of football left to be played. However, I think it's fair to say if the Jags are able to win in Houston, go to 8-3, and hand the Texans a loss and get a 2-game lead on them in the division with the type of schedule the Jags have left, the way that they'd be playing football, they would be in firm control of the division. You never say never. We've watched the Tennessee Titans implode over the last year and a half now. Remember, they lost all those games at season's end last year and opened the door for the Jags to come back. But the Jags are a team that is ascending, not descending, and I firmly expect them to continue to play good football the rest of the way. So next week, huge game for the Jaguars. Win that game, total control of the division. Lose that game, and we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens going forward. It's not the end of the world, but it wouldn't be good. So, by the way, C.J. Stroud did get a win today, got roughed up, left the game for a short time, and did throw 3 interceptions, a career high. So a couple things happening there in Houston as they did beat Arizona. But, gang, we stop with all the hyperbole right now because Brent has an interview that we have never brought you before on the post-game show. Brent has corralled Ross Matiscik, the Jaguar long snapper. And anytime you get the long snapper, you immediately go to him. Ross Matiscik with a huge play today for the Jags in the second half. Time to give him some credit and some love, Brent.
Well, what's up? You know this. We don't come to the long snapper very often unless it's a pretty significant play.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Just, you know, flying to the ball and good things happen. So it was fun to celebrate with my teammates.
You know, the guys say you do this all the time. I know everybody knows it because the ball comes loose and you get a fumble recovery. Yeah. But, I mean, you play well from that position. Yeah. You've been pretty consistent this year.
Yeah, I like to pride myself on, you know, being able to make a couple tackles downfield and being accounted for in the coverage aspect. So it's cool to see your fruits of your labor pay off.
And it did. Heck of a play. I mean, you just got the strip.
Yeah, got the strip. Was lucky enough to land on it, and like I said, go celebrate with my teammates. The best part.
Yeah, there was a moment there I thought you maybe could get up and run, and I don't know if you had been touched.
No, that would have been the grand slam of it all, right? But you know, we'll take what we can get. It was a good play, and you know, all credits to my teammates for forcing the guy to run to me, and you know, it was the right place, right time.
There are a lot of guys in here that are familiar with the end zone or familiar with making plays that have celebrations planned.
Yeah.
What went through your mind from a celebratory standpoint?
You know, it's funny. Some of the guys in here, we talked about doing a little celebration, but, you know, in the moment, I was just too excited and too jazzed and, you know, just having fun with my teammates, like I said.
How big a win for you guys?
Oh, huge. Get us back on track. Division game counts as 2. And, you know, we're ready. We're going to celebrate this one, of course. Anytime you beat the Titans is always fun, but we're going to celebrate it, and we'll be back here tomorrow ready for the Texans.
Key interview. Great get by Brent Martineau in the locker room. Ross Matiscik, you may have never seen him before. You may not know his name. You may not even know he existed, but he does. He's a person, and he made a big play for the Jaguars today. Let's go around the NFL and check out some stuff. The Houston Texans, as I mentioned, winners today over Arizona in Houston. C.J. Stroud left the game, came back in, did throw 3 picks. Sets up a showdown next week in the AFC South as Jacksonville will travel to Houston. The Pittsburgh Steelers finally lost a game to Cleveland Browns without Deshaun Watson, with DTR, a rookie quarterback. Dorian Thompson-Robinson leads the Brownies. They have a heck of a defense, too. They're 7-3, gang, and they got a big win over the Steelers. They are going to fight it out in that AFC North along with Baltimore. Cincinnati probably in trouble. How about the Miami Dolphins? They found a way. Big favorites. Didn't play particularly great. Cheetah got hurt. Tua threw a couple touchdowns. And the Dolphins beat the Raiders and stopped the juggernaut that is Las Vegas 20-13. The Chicago Bears led the whole way. The whole way until the end. Jared Goff threw 3 picks. But when it mattered, he came through. And the Lions improved with the victory. I think it's their 8th win of the year over the Chicago Bears, who get Justin Fields back but fall to 2-8. More from you. The Green Bay Packers. I don't know what to say about the LA Chargers, except for that coach has got to be on borrowed time, and I can't help but wonder if Bill Belichick is headed out west or somebody of note. Brandon Staley, I mean, he's got so much talent and he can't get it done, and the Packers behind Jordan Love get a 3-point victory, and they celebrate in the land of cheese. And then, you know what? It hasn't gone well for the Giants this year. There is no way. This is why Ron Rivera is not going to be the coach of Washington next year. And I know you got a young quarterback, but you got a good quarterback. The Giants have no quarterback. But somehow, some way, Tommy DeVito, I think, threw 3 touchdowns today against a good Washington defense. They did trade some of their linemen, but nonetheless, man, you got to win that game. You don't. The Giants win, and the Giants are victorious. Cowboys roll over Bryce Young in Carolina. Carolina might be the worst team in the NFL. Every week I think they sit there and go, hey, I didn't see how Bryce Young played today, but I know Dallas scored a lot of points. The last time I scored, what was the final, Stuart? I saw 30-10 at one point. What was the final on the Dallas? 33-10, Dallas rolls over Carolina. Just the Cowboys are playing well. Carolina is not, and man, they are stuck. All right, we're awaiting Trevor Lawrence. We're going to give him a few more minutes. It's still early. Doug surprised us. We got a timer on Doug Pederson. Quickest post-game ever. I'm certain he's got family dinner reservations tonight. That guy makes us wait on the post-game show. It doesn't matter. No, he doesn't know we're waiting for him. But we'll wait for him 30, 45 minutes sometimes. Stuart, he was out there within 10 minutes, maybe 5 of the post-game show today. I believe that was, we're being told it was within 5 minutes. So Doug Pederson out there happy. Jags are 7-3. That's terrific, man. Great place to be. We looked at the schedule again. Houston, then a home game against Cincinnati. Jag fans want Monday night. I don't know why. If it gets flexed out, who cares? I'd rather play the Bengals without Joe Burrow, quite frankly, and have, although we kind of would like that showdown with Trevor and Joe Burrow, but nonetheless, they won't have him. And then we've got matchups with Bryce Young, Will Levis again. Will Levis, by the way, seems to be regressing since he started his first game as a rookie quarterback for Tennessee. They're going to go with him the rest of the way. At least that's what they say they're going to do. Tennessee's done. They're done for the year. You can forget about them. The Colts, the Jags swept twice. They're 5-5. I think they'll hang around, but 7 wins, maybe 8 at best. It's Houston who's the problem in the AFC South. So we'll see how all that pans out. Best records in the AFC right now is it Kansas City. They got a big game with Philadelphia, though, tomorrow. Ravens are 8-3, half game better than the Jags, who are 7-3. Browns also 7-3, Miami 7-3. So, again, though, listen closely to me as I tell you the schedule is kind to the Jags. Stuart, tell me the schedule exactly going forward. game at Houston. If you could win that game, you'd be 8-3. Let's assume they go over to Houston and win. It's a big assumption, by the way. Bengals are going to beat 9-3. Browns really tough on defense. They'll give you a good game up there. But a game you got to win with Trevor Lawrence, right? And then after the Browns, it is the Ravens. And then you have a 3-pack to finish that Bucks, Panthers, Titans. Gang, Bucks, Panthers, Titans. You should sweep those 3 if you need to. Well, let's assume right now you sweep those 3. That's 10 wins. That's 10. You're in the playoffs, okay? Now you add a couple more of these next few, and you're 12-5 and feeling good. So, again, it's all right there for Jacksonville. Great bounce-back win. That's what I like best about what happened today for the Jaguars. They took care of business. They dominated Tennessee. The offense in the beginning, I described them on Twitter as workmanlike, not explosive. We need them to be more explosive like they were in the second half. Love how they got that ball down the field. How Trevor put his foot in the ground and let it rip. I thought that was fantastic. So, waiting on Trevor Lawrence right now, and we'll wait a couple more minutes. Does Brent have anyone else to join? Stuart? Okay, we'll hear from Calvin Ridley here momentarily. 7 catches, 103 yards. Remember, against against Indianapolis in the opener, had a great first half. Remember that? It was terrific. After that, he kind of disappeared. Then he had a really good game in London against Atlanta. Then he sort of disappeared again. He reappeared today. They made a concerted effort to get Calvin Ridley, who is quick enough and fast enough, I believe, to have games like this every week. Let's take a look before we get to Calvin at Trevor versus Will Levis. And again, this should be Trevor's game against a rookie quarterback. And it was. 75% completion percentage, 262 yards. First Jaguar quarterback in history, or player, to throw for 2 and run for 2 in a single game. His 10th and 11th touchdown passes of the year. His quarterback rating, I believe, was about 120. So all in all, pretty good stuff from Trevor Lawrence today. In fact, really good stuff from Trevor Lawrence today. You see what Will Levis... Are you kidding me? So sometimes the quarterback rating can be a bit misleading, as Stuart Weber tells me that Will Levis's rookie quarterback rating today was 143. He didn't throw any picks. He hit 2 deep balls, and he only had 4 incompletions. So I guess I wasn't that impressed, though. Were you? I didn't think he played that well, but I guess he had a good game. High percentage rate, couple touchdown passes, right? So overall, good performance by Will Levis. But again, Trevor, I thought, was outstanding today. I thought it was his best game of the year, and one that we were able to really build upon here going forward. Next week, tougher test. The Houston Texans at home. They'll be sold out there at NRG Stadium. They'll be pumped up. They'll be ready. This is how Trevor Lawrence has to play from here on out. Last year, after his worst game of the year, it was against Denver and London. He jump-started himself for the second half. Let's hope we're going to see some of the same thing. This year, worst game of the year, right here a week ago against San Francisco. He said maybe the worst game of his career. Jump-started himself today with 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and what's best, took care of the football. No interceptions, no fumbles, no lost fumbles. Great stuff from Trevor as he joins the 10,000-yard club as a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He should hold every passing record for the Jaguars by the time he is done playing. How's the Calvin Ridley interview? Are we ready? No, we're not. All right. Well, let's just look up at the afternoon scoreboard. The game's just starting. Huh? Talk about the defense? Let's talk about the defense. They have 2 sacks today, Stuart? I think they had 2 sacks. I thought it was going to be one of those 5-sack days, and they only got 2 in the first half. They have 20 now on the year in 10 games, which is very interesting. So one area, again, they've had a chance this year to go up against a lot of backup guys, but I'm nitpicking if I'm complaining about the sacks. I thought the defense was spectacular today, quite frankly. Devin Lloyd had 11 tackles. He does that like anonymously, doesn't he? Like I'm used to hearing Foye Oluokun. How many did Oluokun have? I know he almost had an interception, by the way. Only 6. I love that from Devin Lloyd. I love that combination. I think Lloyd and Oluokun are playing great football. In fact, I thought last week against the Niners, those were the only 2 that really stood out as far as doing anything for the Jaguars. All right, here's a minute with Calvin Ridley, and then we'll move on. Calvin Ridley.
How about the play toward the end of the half down the left sideline, the big one? Is that more what you want? More of those, I bet, right? One-on-one opportunities and win it.
Yeah, but they've been giving me that. I ain't gonna lie. See, me, I'm honest. They've been giving me that. I just gotta win and make the plays. And today I made the plays, and that's what I know I can do. I can do that all day and in all games. So I gotta just own the moment, be where my feet are, and make plays for my teammates and for my for this organization.
When you were game planning this week, did you think you were gonna have a big day?
I did. Yeah.
So you're pretty involved.
Yeah, I knew today would be part of my day.
How much of Zay's return helps open things up for you?
I think when Zay's out there, obviously Kurt, he's a beast. Evan, but I think when we have our complete core, come on, you know what I'm saying? When we have our complete core, we're more comfortable.
All right, we're waiting Trevor Lawrence, but we may not get him if we don't. We're running out of time. Contractually, we are told if we don't, we'll play him, obviously, tonight on Action Sports Jax Primetime. That's coming up 10:30 on Fox 30. That's on 11:30 on CBS 47, so we'll have that for you coming up tonight. You'll hear a lot about what Trevor Lawrence has to play. Don't forget Jags Report Live tomorrow at Sneakers. Special guest, Andre Cisco, the Cisco kid, who was one of the alums from last year. Always look forward to catching up with him. Again, outstanding defensive effort, so we'll catch up with number 5, hear what he has to say as well. Bottom line is this. Jaguars got the victory today. They righted the wrong of a week ago. They needed to get a win at home. They did that. They can't afford to lose any more at home, right? They have 3 losses here at the bank. They're now 2-3. That's a good win. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a big break for you. Trevor Lawrence is making his way to the podium, so we're going to be able to – oh, Stewart's lying to me. But we're going to be able to hold here for just a minute and try to get you some Trevor Lawrence comments. I think, look, he had his best game of the year. Let's give him some love. Hopefully he got a game ball. Trevor Lawrence threw for 262, completed 75% of his passes. And what I really love is the way they drop back to throw, little deeper drops, set the foot, push the ball down the field today. Good throws. Actually missed a couple that he could have had, too, as well. So all in all, outstanding performance from TL16, one that was, I think, desperately needed for the Jaguars quarterback, who caught a little bit of flack this week in Jacksonville on all the sports talk radio shows, mine included, where, we said, look, guy's got to play better. He has 9 touchdowns in 9 games. Not all his fault. We all get that. It's certainly not all his fault. He's got to play better, and he did. He responded today with a really good game, and so did the offensive line. One bad play by the O-line, our rookie Anton Harrison kind of whiffed on Jeffrey Simmons, and the guy who had to pay for that was Travis Etienne down on the 3-yard line or 4-yard line, and he got blowed up for about a 2-yard loss and ran dead smack into Jeffrey Simmons. So that was unfortunate. Again, the lies being told to me by the producer here, I'm not really sure that we should trust him anymore. Stuart Weber back in studio. Oh, wait, Trevor Lawrence talking at the podium. Let's listen in.
Rollouts and the scrambles, scoring 2 touchdowns.
I felt good. I think that definitely helped us out, me being able to move. In general, that just helps you as an offense when I can escape when needed and extend plays. There was one on 4th down where we decided to go for it, and because I was able to move and get out of the pocket, Dearness did a good job working the sideline. We got the conversion, big play there. So little things like that happen throughout the game, and when you can move and feel good and can do all that stuff, it definitely gives you more options, and I think it was good for us today.
Trevor, how big of a day did Calvin have today, and did you know going in that he could have that type of day today?
Yeah, and honestly, with the guys that we have and like the plan every week, sometimes it's hard to tell who's going to have the big week. We got stuff for everybody, but the type of player Calvin is if we get the right look, the right situation for certain plays, that he can really take advantage of them. So, you're kind of, I wouldn't say hoping, because typically we call him at the right time when we get the right look, but you're just hoping everything lines up. And if it does, like it did today for him, he had a great day. I mean, just some great catches, great separation on some of his routes. He did an awesome job, some tough catches, down the field. Just really helped open it up for us. And then everybody else did an awesome job too when their number was called. So I think it was a full, team effort by everybody, but he definitely stepped up to the plate when his number was called. He had a great day.
Can you talk about the offensive line and how much time you felt like you had, and then also getting Zay Jones back? I know not necessarily he had a big day, but just having him out there to help the other guys and maybe take some of the pressure off Ridley and some of the other weapons.
Yeah, the offensive line did an awesome job. I thought protection was great. I mean, I barely got touched, in the pocket. Obviously on some scrambles, extended plays I did, but as far as in the pocket, I mean, those guys did an awesome job, protected me all day, gave me time. The guys did a great job getting downfield, creating separation. So that when those things marry up, it's going to be a good day for us, because you let those guys get time to get down the field, work their routes. And I thought we did a great job taking advantage of some of the looks that we had. So guys up front, can't speak enough on how they did, the job they did, how well they played, because that's a really good front. It's really hard to run the ball against them. I thought we did an awesome job. Credit to Press, too, of just sticking with the run, and those guys up front just kept sticking with it. Obviously, we had some no gainers, some 1 yard gainers, or maybe a yard loss, but we just kept pounding it, and we were able to spring a few, and then that helped us with the play action and all that stuff as well. So I thought it was a great job, really all the way around. And then having Zay out there, I mean, it's huge. I think he just opens things up. His speed, obviously, is a threat down the field. He's really smart. I just know where he's going to be. He does a great job making plays when his number's called. Obviously, today we're kind of getting him back going. And like you said, it wasn't anything crazy numbers-wise, but just he has a real effect on this team and this offense when he's playing. He brings a lot of energy. Just a guy that plays the game the right way, and it's great to have him back out there.
Trevor, the last few games when you weren't able to move as well as you wanted, did that bother you, frustrate you, annoy you, just because you didn't feel whole, I guess, or complete?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, this time of year, no one feels amazing. You don't feel like you did first day of training camp, so you're always going to be dealing with things. But yeah, it's definitely a little frustrating when you have things that you feel like are limiting you to whatever extent that may be. And then just from the confidence standpoint of having the confidence to move and take off and do all the things that you typically, how you play the game. When you feel like maybe you can't do some of that, it changes how you play the game, and I think that's maybe more the frustrating part. So it felt good today to be able just to cut it loose. Obviously still try to protect myself. Took some hits that I probably didn't need to take outside of the pocket that I probably could have got down running, but it felt good just to go play and let the instincts take over when needed. So I think that was a good thing today.
Trevor, you were pretty adamant last week that you had zero concern about this offense bouncing back. How rewarding
today by a final score of 34-14. Good win for the Jags. 7-3 now on the year, which is great stuff. And again, we'll break it all down for you tonight on Action Sports Jax Primetime. Lots to talk about. And a happy Victory Sunday/Monday coming up for you guys in Jacksonville, FLA. And then, well, don't celebrate too long. We got a trip to Houston coming up to take on the Texans. Should be a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I'm Dan Hicken. We're at the bank. Stuart Weber in the studio for DR. For anybody else who's working, God bless you. Thank you. Peace out. We'll talk to you tonight.
Jags Nation, thanks for watching the Action Sports Jax postgame show. Sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars. On game day, all of Duval knows where to go for all things Jags.
CBS 47 and Fox 30, your official station of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Come on, you see the logo. We official, baby.
Exclusive interviews.
From the studio to the sideline. Now that's official.
And in the locker rooms.
Yep, we're that official.
Join the official station of your Jaguars for Countdown to Kickoff. Sunday at 11:30 on CBS 47. Brought to you by your local Ford dealers.